Hi folks, Aaron here, and I'm going to show you how to make world-class beer in your kitchen using these fine ingredients. We have some old dried up spices, we have flavor extracts, we have some dried bitter orange peel here, and we even have a nice big can of puree. Stay tuned, you can make world-class beer in your kitchen with this stuff too. Hi folks, Aaron here, and today we're going to talk about fruits and spices. So, you need to make a beer that has fruit and spice, let's say. You're trying to decide, what do I put in there? Do I put in flavor extract? Do I put in some spice that I got at the grocery store that's already been pre-ground for me? Maybe it's been sitting around for a while. Do I put in puree from a can? Do I put in something like dried bitter orange peel? Or do I put in fresh fruit and fresh spices? Everybody might have their own opinion on this. My opinion is you use the fresh fruit and the fresh spices. Why? Because I personally think that you're going to make world-class beer if you're using those versus using these other items that I mentioned. So, today I'm making a wit beer. And it calls for a couple different spices. It calls for bitter orange peel. So what I did is I went out to a local store. It's called Natural Provisions in my town. They have all sorts of fresh fruits and meats and spices and all that stuff. I picked up a few different types of fruits. One that I got is a blood orange. The other is a Mineola, I think. And then I got a couple of these, what are they? Navel oranges. And my goal for these are that I'm going to basically zest each one of these, taste the zest, see what I think of it, and I'll probably combine the different citrus zests and use that in place of the bitter orange peel. Okay, now let's talk about the spices. So coriander is another really important spice that goes into wit beer. In my kitchen, I happen to have ground coriander seed hanging around in the cabinet. I'm not even sure how old it is. Let's see. Best Buy a year ago, let's just say. I'm sure you can get fresher in your grocery store, obviously. But that's not the point. The point is that I went to my local health food store and I got these. These are fresh coriander seed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically crush these and put a certain amount into the beer about 5 minutes before the end of the boil. I'm going to do that also with the zest. There's one other little ingredient that I haven't tried before in a wit beer, but today I'm going to experiment, and that's what I always recommend that you do. Get some experimentation into your beer brewing program. And these are chamomile flowers, and I thought that they actually looked pretty cool. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of those in the brew at the end of the boil. So that's my plan for the wit beer today. But let's also talk about a couple other things that you can do fruit-wise before we finish up this video. One thing that you can do is you can get the purees. And kind of the nice thing about these are that they're already pasteurized, so you don't really have to have much fear about just pouring it into your secondary, for instance. The thing I find with these, though, is that their flavors are not as bright as if you're using fresh fruit. So what I recommend is, always use fresh fruit if you can. The other thing is these are not that cheap. I swear that this was like 20 bucks or something like that. I know that cherries are pretty expensive, but this is 3 pounds of cherry puree. I'd probably spend the money on getting fresh cherries if I could. Only other thing I'm interested to talk about a little bit more is the extract stuff. And the extracts, there's a whole bunch of different ones that you can get. In my opinion, probably the only times that you want to use like a flavor extract is when it's either say a fruit that's really hard to get, it's not in season, and you're just dying to, brew a beer with that flavor. Or if you really need to just be doing a quick and dirty brew, you don't want to worry about doing like a secondary with fruit and so on. It can certainly save you some time. But my whole thing is brewing the best beer that I can brew. If I put it out there, if other people are going to taste it, I want it to be the best. And in my opinion, the way to do that is by using the fresh fruit, the fresh spices. And I recommend that you, at the very least, experiment with that too. All right, guys, that's it for today. Don't forget that you can make world-class beer in your kitchen. You don't have to be a hipster. You don't have to have a beard, but the beard does help. And you don't even need $1 million. All right, till next time. Bye.